Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the chaos unfolding on the high seas. It's a wild story that connects everything from missile strikes and piracy to a massive, multi-billion-dollar gamble on the very future of global trade. Let's get right into it.
So let's start right here with this number. Because, this entire complex story really begins and ends with people.
That's 1.9 million. These are the seafarers who are caught in a crisis that's just escalating, far from shore. They're the ones with a front row seat to the unraveling of the entire maritime world order. And yeah, that brings us to the absolute sharpest point of this crisis, the human cost. This isn't just about supply chains or delays on your packages. For these folks, it's about survival.
I mean, the reality for these crews is just stark. 7 have been killed since late February alone. You've got tens of thousands stuck on these extended contracts right in the middle of active war zones. It's this grim echo of the COVID crisis, but instead of a virus, they're dealing with live weapons. And the psychological toll? It's immense. Studies show that a staggering 40% of former hostages suffer from PTSD. And to make it all worse, the legal protections that are supposed to help them won't even take full effect until late 2027. As clinical psychologist Alexander Dimitrevich puts it, this isn't about ships and cargo, it's about people. And as we're about to see, the risks for those people are spreading fast. See, the danger is no longer just out there on the open ocean. In a really significant escalation, the conflict is now reaching into harbors that are supposed to be safe. So get this, on April 4th, for the very first time in this conflict, a vessel, the container ship MSC ISHYKA, was attacked not while it was sailing, but while it was tied up, moored at a commercial port in Bahrain. It was hit by a drone, which started a fire right there on the ship. And the crucial point here is that this signals a massive escalation. It proves that the whole threat envelope has expanded. Nowhere, not even a secure port, is truly safe anymore. The game has totally changed. So what happens when all the world's navies are laser-focused on one region, like the Persian Gulf? Well, it creates a power vacuum everywhere else. And in that vacuum, old threats are starting to crawl back out into the light. Just take a look at the Indian Ocean. With all the naval patrols diverted, Somali pirates are back in business. They've grabbed this dhow, the ALWASEEMI 786, and turned it into a pirate mothership. That's basically a mobile launch pad for attacks hundreds of miles from shore, in areas that everyone thought were safe now. And then, thousands of miles away in the Baltic Sea, we're seeing a totally different kind of lawlessness. A sanctioned tanker, the Flora 1, got detained after causing a 12-kilometer oil spill. But then, and you're not going to believe this, it was just released. On a legal technicality, it just sailed away, exposing this massive loophole in how we police the seas. Now, these events might seem disconnected, but they're not. They're all symptoms of a growing anarchy at sea. And it's being enabled by this shadow fleet of vessels. These are ships operating completely outside international law with murky ownership and absolutely no accountability. Okay, now for the paradox. Because despite all this chaos, all this danger and anarchy, the shipping industry is in the middle of a historic shipbuilding boom. It's kind of wild. Orders for new ships have just gone through the roof. I mean, look at crude tankers. Orders have tripled year over year. The industry is placing this absolutely massive bet on the future. The total global order book has hit 191 million compensated gross tons. That's a 17-year high. And to put that number in perspective for you, that's equivalent to building 17% of the entire current global fleet right now, all at once. So this raises the huge multi-billion-dollar question, right? Why on earth would anyone make such a massive bet on expansion when the world's seas are in the middle of a global crisis? Well, the answer lies in this simple but really powerful concept called ton miles. See, when ships are forced to reroute thousands of miles around dangerous areas like the Red Sea, the ton miles needed to deliver the same amount of cargo just explodes. More ton miles means you need more ships on the water, and that drives profits way, way up. And this right here perfectly illustrates the enormous gamble that's being made. Ship owners are betting that today's disruptions and sky-high profits are going to continue for years, justifying this huge new fleet. But if these geopolitical crises resolve by the time all those new ships are delivered in 2028, the market could get flooded with too many ships, and that could lead to a truly catastrophic crash in shipping rates. It's a huge roll of the dice. So let's pull all these threads together: the human cost, the expanding war zone, the growing anarchy, and this massive economic bet. What does it all mean for the future of, well, everything?
What we're seeing here isn't just a temporary disruption. It's a fundamental restructuring of how the seas work. The central crisis, the one being overlooked, is the human one. The threats aren't isolated anymore. They're interconnected and they're expanding. And all of it is fueling a high-stakes gamble on continued chaos that could literally reshape the entire global shipping industry. This leaves us with one final, critical question. The established rules of global trade and maritime security are breaking down. A new map is being drawn in real time. The question for all of us is, who gets to decide what comes next? Who's holding the pen?